And welcome back to Gym Rat Live. She's Allie, I'm Chris. We're really flowing with this whole thing. It is moving. It is AAU basketball at its finest. This is game 5 of 8, and it is our first repeat of 2 teams. We have Elevate New York, and then we have Exodus coming together. So we had a chance to see both of them earlier today. Are you on?
Yeah, I don't think I'm on.
Nope, now you're back. So I think this should be a fun game. We had a chance to see both of these teams earlier today. Both of them were comeback victors in their games, and I think you got a lot of talent on display. We actually just had a chance to catch up with Sydney Eggleton after the last game that Exodus played. She was a really exciting player, and we really like Racky Kane from this squad. And then on Tom Huerter is the coach of the Elevate squad, got Jillian Huerter as well, who played really well. And Saige Randolph, Lauren Patnode was a standout in their first game of the day, so it should be fun.
They don't get to listen to me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well,
okay.
I don't think anybody else can, so. I need some technical help over here. They can hear me? Everybody can hear me. Great.
You're on the internet.
I can't hear myself. So, we'll just keep on trucking, right?
It's a beautiful thing in television or the internet. So off and running, Elevate is in the navy blue jerseys with the gold numbers, and Exodus is in the gray with the black. And we're off and running in game number 5 of the 8 here on court number 1. This is Eggleton caught up right there on the inside, and they'll get turned around and move the other way. Here's Jillian Huerter, who got dinged up in the first game, hanging in the middle. That won't go. Rebound taken away and pulled down for Racky Kane, and Kane moving the other way for Exodus. Bounces off of Lauren Patnode, number 33. Skip it around. Here goes Natalia Zapone. Zapone gives it for Ruby Santos. They'll back it inside. Here goes Eggleton. She had a really good game last time they were on our floor. Very tough kid and a good player and a good scorer on the other end. Patnode played well in the first game of the day, and she can't convert there, but Elevate moving the ball well. Get it to Kathleen Birmingham, who was fouled.
Nice pass ahead, Jillian Huerter, and her teammate was able to corral that pass. Elevate finding themselves at the free throw line.
So that'll send Kathleen Birmingham to the free throw line here.
Sorry about the confusion with my microphone, everyone. It was unplugged underneath the table.
That can't be good.
So I'm back. You know, when in doubt, plug the thing in.
Unplug it, replug it. I might have heard that once in my life.
Reboot.
On the deck, they're going to fight for it. Jillian Huerter is going to come out of the pack and move ahead, up and under and scoring. Jillian Huerter gets it to fall.
Nice job by Huerter attacking the basket and finishing through contact.
So that'll send her to the free throw line. And I have to get a closer look at Jillian, because she got scraped pretty good under the eye and was bleeding earlier in the day. Went off the floor, got a bandage, got taped up, and I mean, for a brief hot second, we saw Tom Huerter between games, and he said something about needing stitches, and I don't know if Jillian went and got that done and made her way back, or if they've held her together with duct tape and glue, but whatever it is, she's back on the floor.
No surprise there, just a tough young woman from a tough family, basketball family, and to quote my father, he would have said something like, rub some dirt on it and you'll be okay.
That's the old school mentality right there.
Yeah.
Jillian with the ball in her hands, 0-0 for this Elevate team.
Nice finish and take by Lauren. And a full court press here by Elevate.
Racky Kane down on the ground, but somehow they come away with it, and now fighting for it. Huerter will take it away for Elevate. skip pass over for Birmingham. That's going to be off the mark. Kane is around the ball all day long for this Exodus team. We had a chance to see him earlier today, and they're on the move again.
Exodus slowing things down, and
deep one. Eggleton, she did a lot of everything for Exodus in that game, but that wasn't one that she hit earlier and doesn't hit one there. May not be part of her game, but steps out and tries it there.
Well, she was telling her team to set it up and then took a dribble in and took a three. So I like that play, right? If you got the ball in your hands.
Jillian gets tangled up a little bit, nearly got it to fall anyway, and then tries to poke it away from Eggleton, who's on the run. Eggleton not afraid to go to contact, lost the handle, hits the deck hard, and that is not a surprise either. In watching her play earlier today, that is a player who physical and fearless would be the way I would describe her.
Yeah, and when she gets downhill with that right hand, she's pretty good. You know, obviously probably needs some work on the left side, but going strong with her right hand, she's pretty effective.
Off the mark there. Elevate in the Navy Blues with a 3-point advantage. Randolph, Saige Randolph goes up and pulls down a rebound for Elevate and gives it off to Jillian Huerter.
Huerter does such a nice job of directing traffic and leading her team.
Elevate increases their lead, knocking that one down, and dangerous pass into the corner, no man's land thrown away. Isabel LeBron was trying to find somebody, but Elevate is putting the heat on early, trying to come out and set a tone and set the tempo here in this second game of the day for them. Huerter with the ball, trying to use the jab step to get around the defender, spins back in, nice bounce pass. Patnode, that pass is going to be too tall and out of bounds, a turnover. Patnode played really well in the first game of the day for this Elevate team, and you'll have a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, she did. She played very well in that first game. The thing that I find interesting is when Coach Huerter takes Jillian Huerter off the point guard spot, things just aren't as cleanly run for their offense, right? So their backup point guard just isn't quite as effective, and the ball has a tendency to fly all over the gym. So while he needs her to put her in scoring positions, that last possession he ran a back screen and a rescreen for her, he also needs her at the point guard spot, right? So somebody else has to be able to handle the basketball under pressure so he can use her as a scoring option as well.
Well, the other thing too is, you know, a little undermanned, if you will, because Natasha Chudy isn't with the team today, I don't believe, and maybe we'll join them tomorrow, but I don't expect to see her today. And then earlier today, they had Grace Almeida, the Shenendehowa player, on the team, but she's not with him on the bench, so he's down to 7 for this game to at least start this game against Exodus, so they're only playing with 7 right now.
Well, it is that time of year where there's proms going on and other spring sports happening. I know Grace Almeida plays volleyball, but that's also more of a fall sport. Not sure if she's on a spring volleyball team as well.
Or just playing something else in the spring, maybe a lacrosse player, or softball player, something else, track and field, who knows. But yeah, you're right. We did have the example of one of the players went to prom yesterday and then drove up for the game today. So it has happened. Patnode's pass intended for Huerter is intercepted. Jess Farrell brings it out the other way. Stepping into a short jumper for Exodus and knocking it down is Isabel LeBron. They say that LeBron's got crazy range. We haven't had a chance to see it yet. They had a come from behind victory in their first game where they had to use everything they could to get back into it. She knocks down the shot there. Nice bounce pass inside for Birmingham. They can't convert. And then a whistle as you got players on the floor fighting for position. Elevate with an early 8-4 lead at the 11 and change mark of the first half.
Yeah, it's been a little bit choppy to start. Both teams trying to find some flow offensively. Some of that has to do with the defensive pressure and full court presses that both teams have utilized, but also, again, just as we heard in the last interview with a young lady after the last game, these teams are still just trying to get to know each other.
Very true. Not a lot of time spent together, not a lot of cohesion as of yet. Patnode converts on the inside the last time for Elevate. Outside LeBron off the mark, and Patnode tracks down a loose ball and pushes ahead. Up and under goes Lauren Patnode, and she's got a lot of different layers to her game, and that was a drive and score.
Yeah, she's shown some really nice things today, and somebody that, you know, anybody who's a Capital Region basketball fan needs to keep an eye on her moving forward. She's done some nice things.
Racky Kane tracks down the loose ball, tries to get the runner to go, no, but tracks down her own rebound, puts it up and in, and draws the foul.
You know, Racky Kane's a player that really has stood out to me as the day has gone along as somebody who has a really high ceiling, and, you know, with a little bit of work and, you know, direct focus on basketball, there's such a jump in players between their freshman and sophomore seasons, just because they get so many more reps than they typically get in college than they would in high school. And she's a player that has a really high ceiling because of that.
Converts there from the free throw line, so make it a 12-7 advantage for Elevate over Exodus. If you weren't with us earlier today, get an Elevate team made up of primarily Capital Region players from around where this tournament's being hosted today here at the Impact Athletic Center in Half Moon. You got a lot of Section 2 basketball kids, Capital Region kids against the Exodus team made up primarily of New York City players. Trouble getting it ahead, but Racky Kane goes and tracks it down. Ruby Santos tries to go up, can't get it to go because she was held, and a foul committed by Elevate. That'll be charged to Bri Carey.
And Ruby Santos really made an impact in that last game and in Exodus's comeback. Personally scored 5 points all in a row off of offensive rebounds and putbacks and just really gritty, tough plays.
Off the inbound, Jess Farrell looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Ruby Santos. Zapone had it, lost it, got it back. Dump it down in. Santos trying to go back to the basket. There's a lot of traffic down there, but she still found a way to get it to Kayla Williams, and credit to her. I don't know how she got it up over all those hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but it was a nice delivery and a good finish. Patnode here to answer.
Patnode does such a good job. She screens everybody and just kind of floats behind, and they find a way to get her the ball. She does such a good job using her body and putting it in the right position.
And the nice thing about her is that she's a 2024, so
yeah,
she's a year younger than a lot of the players on the court. Has a chance to have a really nice career, and just if she keeps working with her size and length and athleticism, she's got a chance to be recruited by a number of schools.
So be Santos shoveling it inside for Racky Kane, and still loose. They fight for it. Kane gives it off to Farrell. Farrell right down the middle. Nobody stops ball, and Jess Farrell drives right to the rim.
Jess Farrell with a really aggressive take to the basket. Again, just a really athletic player that typically is known for her defense, but being aggressive on the offensive side.
So Patnode strong again. Aggressive take will go to the free throw line. She's another player I remember from Gym Rat Live a year ago, and remember the name probably partially because she's a Capital Region kid, but also she was younger, played pretty well, stood out, and then I think she's done a really good job. First game of the day, and now, you know, halfway through the second game, standing out. You know, I think it's so much of the goal, and you know this as well as anybody, get recognized, get noticed for the things you do, and I think she's done that very well today.
Well, and here's the thing about that. Sometimes players try to do too much, and you end up hurting yourself. She doesn't try to do too much. She does what she's good at. She can get downhill with her right hand, she does a good job on the defensive side. She's long, she's athletic, and she plays within the system.
Eggleton converts on the other side for Exodus, and now Elevate tries to answer. Jillian Huerter back into the game. Nice drive, nice score as Huerter gets inside.
And it's good to see her out on the court. Obviously, she got bumped earlier today. She also suffered a knee injury earlier this season and didn't start her high school year right on time, came in a little bit late in her high school year, so was chosen to take that prep school year and add on a 5th year of high school before making a decision on where she's headed for college.
And the choices should be immense for Jillian Huerter, that's for sure. As Allie said earlier in the day when we were together, sister currently playing at Providence. Might have heard of her brother. Plays in the NBA for the Hawks. Now going to have a backcourt violation as that one's going to get all the way back. Huerter has to go track it down, so a turnover for Elevate. You see Dad in the background not looking pleased with a giveaway. 17-13 Elevate with the advantage here. 7.5 to go first half, midway through the first half.
Yeah, turnovers have been the biggest issue for this Elevate team so far today.
Eggleton gets in there and gets mixed up, heavy contact, and they let him play on. Here's Bri Carey trying to move the other way. Nice bounce inside. Saige Randolph not going to get it to fall. Randolph had a nice game 1 on this floor, and she's not giving up. Look at her fight for that ball. Saige Randolph goes all the way down to the deck and comes out with at least a jump ball call.
Really, really tough defensively, and as someone who's watched a lot of basketball, when you see a player make a mistake, instead of hanging their head, you want to see them fight to get the ball back or make up for it, and she certainly did that there.
Carey goes up, doesn't get it to go, but the other thing too to that is, you know, you make a mistake and you're aggressive, but you don't compound it with a foul. Because how often do you see, I made a mistake, now I'm aggressive, now I reach in, now I get a ticky-tack foul.
Exactly.
So you're going to send Bri Carey to the free throw line, a 5'7" player, class of 23 from just down the road at Shenendehowa here in Clifton Park. Got a lot of Shen kids as part of this Elevate team. Up there to mix it up is Randolph to keep the play alive. She has been really good for this Elevate team through 2 games here. A spark plug defensively. How about a step out and jumper for her? Going to leave it short.
Well, that's definitely an area she has to improve on. And in speaking with Coach Huerter, he just thought she was a great defender, a little bit raw. Her skills need some work, but he was really excited about her and thought she could really make vast improvement this spring and summer.
So on the other end, a jump ball is the call. That comes at 6:36 of the first half. 17-13 Elevate with the lead. Eggleton guarded by Huerter. Now they move it over right side for LeBron. On the baseline, the lane is cut off, so kick it back out.
Looked like she traveled there. Ref's letting her get away with one.
Santos into the middle. That's a lot of contact inside and a tough shot that won't go for Kayla Williams. Santos backside and off glass for a pair.
We've seen her do that a number of times today. Just kind of worm her way in there, get the basketball, and figure out an angle to get it to go in the basket.
She's been around the ball as well. She stands out as a player that has always been in the action and effective for this Exodus team. Huerter with the ball. Thought about spotting up. Instead, has her pocket picked, and Exodus not going to push the tempo here. Going to bring it across with a double coming, and there's the block from behind. Huerter helps force the turnover. Randolph takes it up and lays it in.
Yeah, Huerter was slow getting up, but ended up closing down that trap and being unselfish, passing ahead to her teammate. Elevate ahead by 4 at this point.
Santos give and go into the corner. Eggleton got a defender in the air. That's a long-range jumper for her. Santos somehow gets in position, but then throws it into traffic, and it's taken away by Olivia Verdile. Ahead, Huerter gets a defender to go. No contact, but no call. You like where I was going with that?
Yeah, I kind of felt like that could have been an and one, but the refs are letting him play.
So that's good with Isabella LeBron draped across her back. Jillian Huerter gets it to go. Now 21-15 Elevate in front. LeBron shovels it off. Eggleton trying to back down her defender, and Huerter doesn't go but sticks with it. Gets it back, threads the needle for Santos. Down on the deck, and they'll fight for this one. You know, I know they've only played one full game, and this is their second game, but the looks on everybody's faces as they come through late in the day is one of, we are whipped.
Yeah.
We are absolutely exhausted. I think every team that has come through in what would I say the afternoon wave looks exhausted.
Can I add myself to that list?
I look exhausted. I feel exhausted.
No, you are holding down the fort right now. Miscue for Elevate again. Another turnover, just dribbling off of their leg, and those are things that have to get cleaned up for this team. No, you are perky and excitable.
I need a cup of coffee to be perky and excitable at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. That's a deep one. Put up and put in. Step up and hit it for Destiny Bishop, a 5'6" player in the class of 23. Says she's got a good mid-range game. Her mid-range game just got long range.
Yeah, I don't know if she realized how deep she was on that shot, but either way, it went for her.
Don't ask those questions, right? Take it if it's there. Huerter with a nice, strong drive in the left. She was looking for a trip to the line. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, she had a few words for the referee.
Yep.
That's a travel, but that doesn't usually get you many places. Again, Randolph on the floor.
If there was an award for spending the most time on the floor today, Saige Randolph won it long ago. She has been all over the hardwood here inside the Elevate Center, or inside the Impact Center, I should say, for Elevate. I renamed the place. You like that?
Lots of big words, right? Those are big words for me. Maybe not for you, being a wordsmith that you are.
Oh, trying to save that sideline. For once they do, and Eggleton tiptoes and keeps it alive. Kayla Williams is looking for separation. She's not going to get it. Shuffled the feet, took the extra step, so a turnover. .321 to go. First half, Elevate leading 23-18. Patnode right up and in. Boy, she has a lot of good parts of her game. I really like watching Lauren Patnode play.
I think you're probably not the only one.
I think she's, and you keep saying it, kind of a year under everybody else. You've got a little bit more time with her, and she has certainly stood out. Randolph's been all over it defensively, tries to get in and grab a couple for herself. It doesn't go. Destiny Bishop working on Patnode. Patnode, oh, she almost got down on the deck to take that one away, but Bishop keeps it alive. Racky Kane, no. Patnode, step out. Oh, rattled around, came back out. Eggleton comes up and pulls down a board. Just over 2 minutes to go, first half.
It'd be good to see Exodus get into something here. They've taken a lot of quick shots that haven't really gone for them. So maybe running offense here, trying to reverse the ball and trying to get Eggleston on the block.
Strong drive there, won't go. That was Kayla Williams, a 6-foot player, class of 23, drove and drew the foul. So we'll see her at the free throw line. 1:49 to go in a 7-point game.
Both coaches shuffling players in and out, trying to finish this first half on some fresh legs.
Elevate's only got a couple to choose from. They only got 2 bench players over there, so doing the dance with 7. Been there, done that, right, for you?
Yep.
Lauren LaFountain carries it, skips it over for Patnode. Patnode through the lane. That's a wild drive. It won't go, but it almost fell.
Well, the thing about her is she's very right-hand dominant in watching her play for 2 games, right? So against some of the competition today, she's able to be persistent and get to that right hand and get it to go. But for her to play at perhaps, you know, from an athletic standpoint, she could be an A10 player, but for her to get to that level from a skill standpoint, she's really got to work on that left hand. Just my opinion.
Well, I don't think you're wrong. It's all about skill set and development and obviously trying to get better, and those are the things, you know, these kids want to highlight as you get deeper in the process, the recruitment process, as Racky Kane can't get that one to go, and now Patnode leaks out the other way. Good job hustling back on defense, Destiny Bishop, but they're in a 2-on-1 situation. Lauren LaFountain cleans it up. Saratoga high school star, class of 23, puts that one in. Step out jumper for the post player Kayla Williams. The 6-footer knocks it down with 25 seconds to go. 27-22. Elevate with the lead, and Exodus is, you know, just hung around here. Here's Huerter to beat the buzzer, and that comes with plenty of time. 11 seconds to go, and Exodus can actually have the final shot and potentially have a buzzer beater of their own. Racky Kane puts it on her hip, can't get the mid-range to go, and that'll take us to halftime. At the break, Elevate with a 30-22 lead over Exodus here at Gym Rat Live.
So let's talk about the advisory subscription level. The advisory subscription level is the highest level that we offer with the Gym Rat Recruiting Index. And
Back for the start of the second half. 5th game of 8 here on court number 1. Chris Watson alongside Allie Jacks. It is 30-22. Elevate in the navy blue and the gold ahead of Exodus in the gray and the black. Leading the way for Elevate, Jillian Huerter's got 11 points, tied for the team lead with Lauren Patnode, also with 11. On the Exodus side, 4 for Sydney Eggleton, 4 for Kayla Williams, and Racky Kane has been a defensive stopper and rebounding machine. 6 boards for her in the first half. Elevate starts with the basketball here in half number 2. Tried to hit a little backdoor cut there. Wasn't anywhere to go on the pass from Bri Carey, but Elevate comes away with it and a half-court turnover. Huerter, that's tough, off the hip, up and in.
Yeah, nice take and nice finish by Jillian Huerter. I think she probably likes to go left a little bit more than she likes to go right. She's shown that so far today, but again, when a mistake is made and a turnover happens, somehow Jillian Huerter finds a way to make up for it.
And she's off to the races now, tracking down the missed shot, rebound, and off. And how about a spot-up three from Carey? Halfway down, it pops back out. Won't go for Bri Carey, who's been close but unable to convert on that one. LeBron hands it off for Sydney Eggleton. Had a chance to chat with her post-game after one of the earlier games. A outgoing and infectious personality on her, and a good ball player as well. Things not going her way right now for her squad, but certainly a good ball player in her own right. She's matched up with Patnode in this game as Patnode has taken her out. Now passes it off to Jillian Huerter.
Well, they've been in this position before. They were down 10 in their first game and were able to come back and cut into the lead. But on simple pick and roll there by Jillian Huerter and Patnode, Exodus needs to do a better job defensively at defending that.
And that's really what it is. I feel like in Patnode's game, it's just really the smoothness of the pick and roll. There's not any wasted motion, wasted steps. It's just kind of flows freely to the spot she needs to be and converts.
Well, and Jillian Huerter delivers her the ball where she can catch it and do something with it. That was a travel on Exodus. But that's the biggest thing. Like, some players pass the ball just to get rid of it, but a player like Jillian Huerter sets her teammates up with the ball, so they catch it where they're able to do something with it.
Now look at Patnode running the floor as the ball carrier drives it up and drives it in. I feel like I'm singing her praises, but she's doing it herself, now showing she can handle it and run the floor. And then gets run over, but it'll be a foul on her. Didn't have position yet as Eggleton went right at her.
Well, two similar athletes, both at 6'1". Patnode got the worst of that. Eggleston showing no ill effects, but just a pretty big collision for both players.
Natalia Zappone hasn't found the mark as of yet in a couple games, but a rebound putback for Eggleton as she gets that one to go. Eggleton, by the way, is a class of 23, tough player, attacks first. Say she's got a really good feel for the game, and we've been impressed with what we've seen out of her here at Gym Rat Live. On the other side, Bri Carey can't get it to go, but once again, Saige Randolph keeps the play alive. Carey looking for one. Nope. Eggleton the board.
Well, the thing that's stood out with Eggleton is how aggressive she is. I think when we think about the games that we've seen so far today, she's definitely one of the players that stands out when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard, too. I mean, you know it as well as anybody. When you come to events like this, it's hard to be noticed. You know, you're on a team full of, maybe you've got 7, 8, 9 kids. Maybe you've come at a team that's come with 10 or more. Court time is hard to find. And, right, there's that, you press, right? You want to be noticed. You want to do too much. You want to hit a splashy three that might be outside of your comfort zone.
Well, and I think that when players do that, they end up looking badly, because they're trying to force the issue and force things. I think Eggleston just has an aggressive way that she plays the game where she doesn't back down, and she's physical and she's athletic. And sometimes if you try to do too much, it ends up hurting you. But there's a fine line between being aggressive and maybe being overly aggressive or trying to do things that you're not capable of.
Santos got caught in no man's land, and that'll lead to Saige Randolph with a breakout opportunity. Can't get it to go. Had the fast break, but looked like she got kind of feet out from under her, was dragging a foot as she tried to avoid a travel and could not convert.
Well, just not as comfortable finishing with her left as she is with her right. That just became obvious in that full court situation. And
pushes it ahead, though, and gets it to Huerter, who finishes and converts the fast break as Saige Randolph drives and scores, and that pushes the lead for Elevate, who's kind of found a really nice groove here to start this second half. Their lead now 38-25 on a full timeout. So coming out of the timeout, you've got Elevate leading Exodus 38-25, just about 12 minutes to go here in what is game number 5 on court number 1. If you don't know by now, Gym Rat live streamed with a full broadcast crew on court 1, a full broadcast crew on court 4. Sean Bagnardi and the coach Brian Fruscio are down there, and then the games on courts 2 and 3 are also available for streaming, and that includes all the games today and all the games tomorrow as well. And how about Racky stepping out? Racky Kane hits the 3.
Well, and that's something that we haven't seen her connect on so far today, but certainly showing she's capable of knocking down a 3. And when you add that to everything else we've seen from her, she's definitely a player, I agree with her coach, a player that has the ability to be a strong Division I prospect.
And could be to the point of what we said. What is a school looking for? Are we looking for a defensive stopper, rebounder, kind of jack of all trade on that side of the floor where the offense is a plus when we get it? If that's the role you're looking to fill, boy, she might be the perfect fit for you. But so much for that, because she just crossed over and went to the goal pretty good. Doesn't get the shot to go, but that was a nice take by Kane.
It's interesting because we were talking about aggressiveness earlier, and she has shown the ability to get to the basket going right and left. She has shown three-point range. She has shown that she can take a hit and finish through contact. She's been a good defensive player today on the court. So as you said, really a well-rounded player. I think the thing that might separate her from some high-level players is the confidence you just saw with that shot, but the ability to take over a game, right? So like, she's got a little bit of a quiet nature about her, and maybe she just needs more confidence on the court.
Well, certainly she found it in the last couple of possessions, showing the outside game that we hadn't seen as of yet, and she steps out and hits a couple. And on the other end, Lauren Patnode heads to the free throw line. Knocks it down. Patnode and Huerter, up until that made free throw, each had 15 points. They were tied for the team high for Elevate. (39-31), just under 11 minutes to go here in the second half, with Elevate leading by 8 points over Exodus. Racky Kane going behind the back. Isabel LeBron moving her around. LeBron puts it up. That's off the back iron, no good. Huerter comes away with the rebound and pushes for Elevate.
I'd like to see this matchup, Racky Kane guarding Huerter.
Had it for a hot second, but without the ball in her hand, now from the corner, off the mark, trying to get it for Olivia Verdile. That will not go. Kane on Huerter on the other side.
Well, I was just going to say, if Racky Kane decides to go at Jillian Huerter, I think Jillian would have a hard time keeping her in front, just because Kane is so explosive going to the basket.
Off the glass and in.
I don't think she called that.
Our second window work of the day for Isabel LeBron this time, who kisses it off and scores. Jess Farrell steps in front of that pass, and it's intercepted. Ahead goes Santos with LaFountain in pursuit. She gives up the foul but doesn't give up the layup, so that'll send Ruby Santos to the free throw line.
Listen, I know these teams haven't practiced much, and for Exodus, this is their first tournament, but they were down in the first game by 10 and came back and ended up winning. And now they're down 5, right? They were down as many as double digits. We see Santos being the one cutting into the lead again, but you can't count this team out.
Yeah, there's something to be said. You know, I know it's not a tournament here, but survive and advance, right? Maybe it's just survive those incremental waves of scoring and hold your own, maybe get the other team to go on a lull, steal a couple points here and there, and then before you know it, you're right where they are, which is down by 4 points after feeling like you haven't really been in the game. How about that take by Saige Randolph, who we talked about finding the offensive rhythm? That's a good way to find it on a fast break.
Yeah, and you can see where a player like Randolph, a player like Kane, as the day has gone along, their confidence has grown. So that's where when you look at these guys in their first tournament of the spring and summer, two of them going at each other right now, you can only imagine where they're going to be in a month or so.
Yeah. More games, more reps, more opportunities. The caffeine delivery has arrived for the second half. Coffee for myself and
we both went silent.
Yeah. Cola for the coach over here, but listen, long day of basketball. What do you got? 2 more to go here, friend. We'll caffeinate and hydrate
This
here.
will get me through.
Patnode off the mark and Farrell on the move. Gets it across for Kane and now gets it back. Mid-range jumper, and she knocks it down. That's a nice give and go and a nice jumper for Jess Farrell, a 2023 player. They use at the top of their press really quick. Gets those steals. She can guard anybody. Patnode left open. That might hit window. She's going to leave it just off the mark, and they'll fight for it over there.
So Exodus hanging around, down 4 with 8 minutes to go.
And Bri Carey is going to keep shooting that. It hasn't gone yet, but she is not afraid to try. .7:45 to go. Randolph kick it too high for Patnode.
Again, the turnovers adding up for Elevate. This is a team that can't afford to turn the ball over.
Oh, Huerter steps in front of that telegraph pass and will go 2-on-1, give it off for Randolph, get it back, and can't get it to go, but is fouled. So that'll send Jillian to the free throw line, and certainly wasn't picture perfect, but it'll get the opportunity for Jillian from the stripe.
No, and this is important for Elevate at this point. They've struggled to score, been in a little bit of a slump, and to get to the free throw line and get some extra points is always helpful.
.42-37 with 7:39 to go. Tom Huerter makes a substitution over there. I mentioned he's only got 2 players on his bench for this game.
Huerter isn't able to get the second free throw to go, so Exodus again hanging around.
Nearly a conversion inside for Kayla Williams, but Elevate will get the ball and get the opportunity to add to the lead that, as Allie has alluded to, chipping away here, chipping away. And that's what Exodus did in that first game when they had a second half come from behind win.
Yeah, and they had a good look on that trip, just weren't able to convert the layup.
Huerter's pass takes forever to get there, but it eventually finds its way to Kathleen Birmingham.
Well, I think she expected her teammate to cut back door to the basket, and she never
yeah.
did.
Yep, she waited for it in the corner, and fortunately, no defender there. Elevate gets in the hands of Huerter. Huerter right down the lane. Eggleton challenged and got a piece of it. Knocked it out of bounds, and it'll stay Elevate ball. In the corner for Patnode. Randolph, oh, heavy contact. Oh, she got hit hard.
Yeah, she got hit in the head, too.
Eggleton wasn't interested in giving up anything easy.
If this was a college game and they'd have a monitor, they would be going to look at it to see if there was any extra contact there, but either way, really tough play by Randolph. She needs to take her time here at the free throw line and knock the second one in.
Does not go. Exodus moves the other way. Quickly goes Destiny Bishop. Everybody says it's theirs. It will be an Exodus ball. Eggleton up and under. Well, little by little, what's going on?
Well,
42-39.
it's Eggleton being aggressive, and then Santos isn't in the game right now, and neither is Racky King, but those two players are also key for this Exodus team. Either way, it's a three-point game, and you know, quickly the pressure's being put on Elevate. Let's see what Huerter can come up with. Huerter and company, I should say.
And there's Jillian right there, a little footwork exhibition. Up, under, and in for Jillian Huerter.
She's just calm. Like when things get tight, you know, she doesn't get tight. She's calm and controlled and takes her time and just is a really kind of a throwback, smart basketball player. You know, I think for her on the defensive end, you can see right here, you know, that's an area where she's got to get physically stronger. She's got to get in peak condition for the college level, but the offensive skill set is certainly there.
Kayla Williams goes up and under and converts there, and now a loose ball. Eggleton comes away with it. Eggleton a chance to go one-on-one with Patnode. Rest of the pack catches up to her. Patnode, a little push from behind, and Eggleton goes down, and you said something about if we were at the college game. I think that one would have gone to the monitor too, because I think Patnode might have gotten a little shove in there that took Eggleton down.
Lots of contact on both sides of the court.
So after all that, it remains a three-point advantage for Elevate at the 5-minute mark here of this game. Huerter looking to go wide to the right. Now we'll spot up, pull the trigger, gonna leave it just a touch short. Birmingham crashes for a rebound. Back to Jillian, bounce it to Randolph, and it falls. Nice pass by Huerter, you said. Never gets rattled, always stays calm. She saw Randolph the whole way.
Yeah, she did a nice job of making the extra pass to her teammate there, and again, just a smart basketball play.
How about a 2-on-1? Patnode gives it off for Huerter, who gets it back and goes up and scores. Excellent work by those two.
Yeah, and I think for Exodus right now, you see the two players they have who have been set to come in for a little bit. Coach taking a timeout. She's got to get more scorers on the court if she's going to cut into this now 7-point lead.
Natalie Wilson of Exodus burns the timeout. That comes at the 4:20 mark with Elevate leading 48-41 here on Gym Rat Live. Out of the timeout with an Exodus basketball. It's Destiny Bishop to inbound it. Get it in. Racky Kane's back into the game off the bench. Number 3 handling it for Exodus right now. Kane with a stutter step, kicks it over for Bishop, who will pull the trigger. That's deep off the back iron. Patnode goes up and crashes the boards. Patnode going to carry it the distance right to the rim, and the foul for Lauren Patnode.
Tremendous job by Patnode, and again, just being really athletic and strong with the basketball and finding her way to the rim.
20 points in the game for Lauren Patnode. 20 of the 50 belong to 33 at the free throw line. .353 to go. Elevate pushes the lead back to 10. Eggleton, no. Loose ball tipped around. And they're going to fight for it. And I mean fight for it. Ruby Santos and Lauren Patnode mixing it up down there.
Yeah, looks like it was a jump ball call before there was any contact, but 10-point game and definitely physical.
Huerter saw it coming the whole way. Up and in, and the foul. Jillian Huerter was sitting on that one.
Yeah, and that could be it for Exodus. They made a nice run, but Jillian Huerter just with the steal and layup and won the old-fashioned way in transition, did a really nice job.
A pair of 20-point scores for Elevate. Patnode's got it. Jillian's got it. There's 40 of your 53 points right there belong to those two very elite players. And they'll call a foul on Patnode, who doesn't believe it. Eggleton got kind of turned around, and the foul call will keep that alive for Exodus. Exodus now trailing by 12.
A lot of points to make up in 3 minutes plus time. So, you know, Exodus made a push there, and then I think they got stuck for a few possessions without Racky, Kane, and Santos on the court, who were 2 of their better scorers, and just weren't able to overcome the deficit.
Inside feed too tall for Eggleton. They tried to go over the top, and she just could not sky to get that one. Turnover at the 3:12 mark, and Elevate leading by 12.
And in control of this game without a shot clock. They could choose to take some time off the clock. Pretty sure Huerter will just look to run plays and play basketball if I know how this one's going to go.
And that was touched on the end line by Elevate, so it'll be an Exodus ball, is unable to tiptoe the end line. You mean the bonus basketball streak is going to come to an end on court 1?
Yes.
Are you disappointed?
Nope.
No. Santos inside, shoves off a Huerter, gets it to Farrell, gets it back, and it will go. Next game for us, a scheduled 5 o'clock start, and we may be in the ballpark again. That'll be between New Heights and the Maine Firecrackers, who we have not seen yet here today. They played an early game over on court 4, so we'll get our first look at the Firecrackers and get another look at New Heights, a very, very talented team who played a great game against the NCW Stars earlier today. Didn't get the win, but played a very, very good game. A lot of talent on that team, so excited to watch this one. That's about 2 minutes away after this one.
Yeah, Maine Firecrackers traditionally are a really solid program as well, so should be another good matchup.
Huerter trying to get free. She's got her 20-point game, and she's fouled on the drive. So Elevate picked up a win to start their day. against the Mass Huskies. Going to run the record 2-0 if they can close this one out. They won that game, didn't they? No? Can you remember? You're shaking your head at me, but neither one of us know for sure.
Well, because I don't remember speaking to Jillian or...
We didn't do a post game, but you're right.
Oh, that's right.
But we would have done it, the player from Mass, so you're right. It would have been, it would have been the Mass Huskies who won. So excellent memorization skills, Coach. 1-1 on the day. Elevate will go. And they will be back in action tomorrow as well. New Heights waits in the wings for their upcoming game.
You see the orange uniforms of the Maine Firecrackers finding their way to the court as well.
Oh, near and dear color scheme to my heart. I'm a fan.
I figured you would be excited about that.
Fan. Hard contact, and down goes Bri Carey for Elevate. Minute 24 to go.
This is a long 2 minutes.
It's taking a while.
It's taking a while.
We hit the wall.
Yeah.
The coffee and the Coke might have perked you and I up, but the somehow everything else has slowed down. Bri Carey gives it off for Jillian Huerter. Carey's looking for one, still can't get it to fall, but going to track it down and keep it alive. Nice job to lengthen out the possession, a possession that does not feature a shot clock, so it can take as long as they want. Carey one more time. Crashing the rebound, Birmingham, no, they'll fight for it. Loose and not able to save it. Olivia Verdile, so Exodus basketball.
Might have been able to call a foul on that putback, but I think the referee has the right idea by letting them play.
A play-on situation?
Yes. And Elevate will probably pull the basketball out here.
So 48 seconds to go, and Elevate with a pair of 20-point scorers in this game, and Jillian Huerter and Lauren Patnode. Carey's been looking for hers all game long and just can't get it to go. And Kayla Williams brings it up, nearly has her pocket picked there by Olivia Verdile on the stretch. 27 seconds to go, and as we mentioned, next game up, a scheduled 5 o'clock start. We won't be far off from that. It'll be New Heights and the Maine Firecrackers coming up next. Isabel LeBron kicks it back. That three will be short, taken by Charlotte Miller. 17 seconds to go.
We used to have a fun game when we were watching games that were basically over with 2 minutes to go. We would take bets on how many times the whistle was going to blow in the last 2 minutes.
Always bet the under on that one,
so
right?
So if you're sitting wondering what college coaches are talking about at the end of the game, that could be it.
And you're an official, they're talking about you. That's going to bring us to the final horn, and it'll be a win for the Elevate team as they knock off Exodus by a final of 55-43. So a nice win for Tom Huerter and his crew as Elevate picks up the win. And as mentioned, a 1-1 performance here today as they dropped a tough one earlier in the day to one of the Mass Huskies teams. So as we settle in for the pregame countdown clock to tick away, we'll settle in for our postgame interview, and we will be joined by Jillian Huerter, who had a 20-point performance here in this game. And Jillian, good to see you. First of all, you took one on the eye in the first game. How you feeling? Did you have to get it stitched up?
Stitches in between the games, but it doesn't hurt too bad. So.
You're a gamer. Nothing slows you down. How'd you guys play in this game?
We played tough. I think our defense really spoke for itself. I know the first game we, thought we could have played better, and we met. We talked about what we could do and improve on. So I think we did better. Our defense was better. I think we took care of the ball better.
So. Yeah, I think you have to give Exodus credit. They were able to come back and make this a little bit of a game in the second half. But when things get tight, I'm always impressed with your composure and how confident you play. Are you as confident on the inside as it appears you are on the outside in those tough moments?
I think so. I think, I put a lot of time into it. I might as well be confident and know that all the work I've gone into it outside of the games will help me in the games.
When you look at this part of the summer and kind of getting this whole thing started, what do you want to do this summer? What do you personally want to get out of it? I know AAU basketball is, skill development and you're wanting to get to know your new teammates, but for you personally, what do you want to do this summer?
Just get better. I think that's always the goal, and I think our team, we're really new. A lot of us haven't played together a lot in the, school season or anything, so I think it's good that each game we just keep getting better as a whole.
Fun to watch you play as always, Jillian. Great to see you. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Good to see you guys too.
Jillian Huerter from Elevate as they pick up the win, a 55-43 final score in their second game of the day. A quick break. We're back for game number 7.